everyone, it's Smitha. I am Glam Smitty on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And it's been quite a while, longer than I would like, but it's a new year and I wanted to get back into long form content. I know I was getting into it a little bit at the end of last year, but I feel like I'm finally hitting my rhythm. So I really wanted to talk about this palette called the Lovers Palette, and this is the newest palette that's launching from Cosmic Brushes. They're also known as Cosmic Beauty. I think their Instagram handle is still what they originally launched as, which is Cosmic Brushes. And this is their Valentine's release palette. It is in their standard 20 pan palette format. It is a little bit different because it opens vertically, but this is what the inside looks like. And it is still the great price that we know and love from Cosmic Brushes. This retails for £26. And in case you haven't seen my content on Instagram or TikTok, I have done some very detailed swatches of this palette, both in natural light, natural kind of sunlight, and in studio lighting. So hopefully that'll help. I have also created a look with it, which is in my YouTube shorts, but it's also on Instagram and TikTok. So in case you wanted to see a look with it in action, I used some of the pastel purples and the deeper purples on this really gorgeous multi-chrome right here. But anyway, I've gotten a little bit of a chance to play around with it. I have some thoughts about it, and as always, I get so excited for Cosmic Brushes releases, so I really wanted to make this video before the launch if possible. I am an affiliate of the brand, so thank you so much if you use my code to save. It's just my username, which is GlamSmitty. I'm gonna put that on the screen as well. And I do a little bit of paid content for the brand, and this palette was sent in PR. So those are the details. I have been using Cosmic Brushes for a few years now, and I've really seen the quality of these palettes continue to get better and better. I feel like they started in a good place, but I've noticed, especially with the matte formula, especially the pastel shades, they continue to just step up in formula. And then also the shimmers. It used to be where you would have maybe one special multi-chrome in a palette, and you still have a few kind of more special shades than the others, but in general I feel as though the shimmers and the chromes have just gotten better over time. And I am gonna go ahead and do some live swatches just because I thought it would be fun to see them on screen as well. And I'll point out the shades that are a little bit kind of more special. I will say that I am somebody who tends to not get too much kind of creasing on the lids. I don't have hooded lids. And so I'm not the best person when it comes to knowing if the shimmers tend to crease on other people, but I will say I've had wear tests with these shades and they do really well. The formula tends to be pretty smooth for those shimmers. A few of them are a little bit on the emollient side, so I would just keep that in mind, and I'll point that out as we go. That's another thing that I will say has sort of changed over time with the Cosmic Brushes formula, though. I would say that the shimmers have tended to be a little bit less emollient, so if that matters to you or if that's your own personal preference, that's just something to keep in mind. So without kind of jabbering too much more, I'm gonna get into it. So as I said, 20 pans, just make sure I counted that right, 4 by 5, yeah, 20 pans, like their standard size of palette. And these are I believe half matte, half shimmer. No, slightly more matte heavy. So you have 12 mattes and 8 shimmers, which I think actually lends itself a little bit better to doing looks. I do think that you are going to get a really good variety of shades with this palette. It's definitely not a monochromatic palette. I would say that you would have to enjoy pastel tones, but something that I really like about when I see a palette that has a lot of light mattes is that you have depth in this palette. You have some really deep mattes, including this black shade here in this row, and then you have this really deep purple shade and this really deep olive shade in the first row, and this blue as well. So I like the variety and the range that you get. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the swatches. So this is the shade Connection. And this one, I would say, I mean, this is definitely one of the special multi-chrome shades. One of the two kind of most special. I would say the other ones are probably shimmers or duochromes. And so let's swatch the first four. I'm gonna do 4 at a time. So we have Promise, which is the second shade, and then Choices and Communication. So here is the first 4. I said that this one is one of the kind of more special multi-chrome shades. I'm gonna go ahead and show swatches on the back of my hand. And you can see just how shifty that one is. And I am going to just, after I show the swatches of these shimmers, I will show swatches of the whole palette. I did share those on Instagram, but just in case you aren't on Instagram or you just want to see them here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is the shade Promise. And next is the shade, and I would say that Promise is a duochrome. So you have almost like a silvery taupe base and a really kind of prominent yellowy green shift in it. Next we have the shade Choices. And Choices to me looks like a shimmer without shift. Just a really pretty kind of purple, deeper purple shimmer. And then we have Communication, and that is this grungy green shimmer. And again, I don't think that that shade is a chrome. It looks to me like it's a straight shimmer. So that's the first 4. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hand and come back and swatch the next 4. All right, now on to the swatches of the final 4 shimmers. This one is Faithful, and this is the other kind of really shifty multi-chrome that is in the palette. Next we have Truth, which is this kind of deeper blue shimmer there. And then we have Companion. I'm pretty sure Companion is a duochrome, like a peachy, a goldy peach with a hint of pink duochrome. And then finally, we have Loyal. And there is what Loyal looks like swatched on the fingertip. And then let's go ahead and do swatches on the back of the hand. So this is Faithful. And I hope that you can get that on camera, how shifty that one is. Really kind of special multi-chrome there. And then the next one is that kind of teal blue, and that is the shade Truth. I'm just gonna smooth it out a little bit. There. That is what Truth looks like. That is so pretty. I have not used that one in a look yet. Next is the shade Companion, and that's that kind of peachy gold shade there. I'm pretty sure that's a duochrome because I definitely see a pretty shift in there. And then finally we have Loyal. And there's what Loyal looks like. That looks like a duochrome as well. And that looks like it's got a pretty aqua shift in it. All right, so now that I've had a chance to do swatches of the shimmers, I'm gonna put up swatches of the whole palette, and I'm gonna come back and do 2 looks. I'm gonna try to make my looks different than the tutorial look that I did on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. So I'm gonna use some of the other shades just so that you can see those in action as well. All right, now let's get into the looks. I am really tempted to start off with a green look, so I'm gonna focus on this portion of the palette here. I'm gonna go in with this, this kind of olive toned matte. Actually, just so you know, it's a matte that has a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's so subtle that I really don't think that it's gonna translate too much on the lid. This is the shade called Mutual, but I noticed that when I was swatching it, that it does in fact have some shimmer in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that all over the lid. And I'm using one of my Cleona brushes. I actually have been using some of my Cleona brushes for years now, and I'm really impressed with them. Not only with the price point, but with the quality for what you pay for. Some of them, like when they go on sale, are just for a couple of dollars, which is such a steal. So I prime my eyes the same way that I normally do, which is with my About Face primer. It has no pigment in it. It just is how I start off most of my looks. So you can see, like, something that I really like about Cosmic Brushes mattes is that they're buildable. So you don't go in with a ton of pigment. They are super pigmented, but they are not such that they'll go on patchy. They don't go on patchy. They go on so that you can build up the pigment and get a really, really nice blend. I would say I find them to be beginner friendly for sure. So that is that shade Mutual, and I really don't think that you can see too much shimmer in it. I don't really mind mattes with shimmer. You can see a little bit, but I know that some people prefer not having mattes with shimmer. And then I'm gonna deepen up the outer corner with the shade Trust, which is that kind of deeper olive shade there. I'm just gonna do simple eyeshadow looks just so that I can show you how the shades perform. And now that we're just kind of doing eyeshadow and chatting, I just wanted to say that I have some videos planned. One of them is I wanted to talk about eyeshadow trends that I expect to see in 2025, and I wanted to also do more kind of tutorials and things like that. So let me know in the comments if that is something that you would want to see, or any other video types that you would like to see. So that is my outer corner. I did the deepest green matte shade. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that same shade on the bottom lash line. I'm gonna use a little bit smaller of a brush to do that. I'm due for a really big brush cleaning. All of these brushes are clean, but I've been finding that I have to clean like 5 at a time because I don't have any that are just a cup of them that are clean, which is annoying. Okay, so I haven't had any issues at all with these matte shades. It's the formula that I know and like. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually put this matte shade, the pastel green matte shade Devoted, on the inner corner, just because I think that would be really pretty as my inner corner highlight. And then there's a bunch of shimmers that I could use as my lid shade, but I think I'm gonna use this shade Promise, this duochrome shade, the second shimmer that I swatched earlier, all over the lid. Yeah, that goes super well with the look. It's so pretty. All right, so here is what the first eye is looking like. And let's go ahead and hop into the second look. I'm going to do more of a pink look for my second look because I did more of a purple look for the look that I did in my shorts. So I'm gonna focus more on this. I'm not gonna use this because I already used this in another look and it's so pretty, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this, this deeper purple shimmer, I think, for my second look. So I'm just gonna like clean off my brushes that I just used and hop into the second look. So I think I'm gonna start off with, actually I'm gonna start off with this shade here, which is kind of like a grayish taupe kind of shade, but I think it'll go really well with some of the pinks that I'm gonna use for the rest of the look. So I think that's what I'm gonna use for my first shade is the shade Affection. I'm gonna put that one all over the lid. I'm still figuring out my setup, so please bear with me. And that's the first shade, Affection. Again, really like how buildable it is, and even without any type of base, these pastels work so well on my skin tone. And then I'm gonna go ahead and deepen up kind of the middle portion of the lid with the shade Attraction, this matte pink here, this kind of mid-toned matte pink. And I think I'm actually going to use a deeper shade on the outer corner. And I think I actually may have used this kind of plummy shade in the first look that I did, and I really liked it, but I think it's gonna go well with this look as well. I really didn't want to do a neutral brown look. Not that I don't mind it, but it's just not what I felt like doing right now. So I'm gonna use this Plum Matte Harmony as my outer corner shade. And I really thought it blended super beautifully before, so had a good experience with it when I did my first look. And again, because the formula is buildable, it's just hard to, you know, overdo it too much on the first go around, which is nice. The formula is forgiving. It's buildable. So here is what the mattes in that look are looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line. I'm gonna use that deeper shade for the lower lash line and just run it gently below my lash line. And then I'm gonna use this deeper kind of purple shimmer there, Choices, all over the lid. And for the first look, I wore it for like 5 or 6 hours, something like that, and had no issues whatsoever. It still looked really nice when I washed my face off. I didn't do like a long, super long wear test, but I don't find the formula to be, you know, surprising compared to other Cosmic Brushes palettes. So if that helps, I think it's pretty on par with the others. And then, ooh, I want to use something as my inner corner shade. I think I'm going to use this multi-chrome shade Faithful on the inner corner. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. Okay, so here is what the two looks came out like. I think this palette is so pretty. I think at some point I need to do a Cosmic Brushes palette ranking video, but it's really hard for me to rank them because there's a lot of them and I have a lot of favorites in the brand, but I think it'll force me to really think about it. I think this is a really great release. I could see it being polarizing, especially if people are into pastel tones, but I just think the variety is great. And I also think I'm gonna do a little comparison between this and Serenity, because Serenity was the first palette I ever tried from the brand. I think they're quite different, but they do have both pastels and deeper shades, and I just think it would be fun to see what they look like side by side. So I think I'm gonna do that on Instagram. But anyway, I hope that this video was helpful. Let me know if this is on your wish list and what you think of the looks I created, if you plan to pick it up or if you plan to pick it up at a later time or if you're gonna pass on it. Also, please subscribe if you have not already. It really helps me out. I'm really looking forward to doing more longer videos this year. So I hope you'll stay along and I will see you in my next one. Bye.